Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. This is Starters Auto 7, just loaded into our flat save in the US. Don't know why my brain shut down there for a moment, but yeah, that's Horse House. If you haven't seen the video, two videos, really, because I messed up, but the video about the schedules and the upload links, everything is now live over on the tutorials, tips, tricks, and cheats video playlist on the channel. So go ahead and check episode 13 and 13A out. Again, big thanks to Robert for pointing out a few races were missing, and because certain races were missing, it took me about 5 minutes to figure out that I was an idiot and just didn't upload the updated feature races, so they've gone up. Everything's been updated on the original video in terms of the links in the description and the pinned comment, and then video 13 is basically explaining that, showing where to put those that I didn't cover in the original video, and again has the updated description and pinned comment. So yeah, if you're looking for a slightly updated and better version of this schedule, then it's now live. It's up on Mediafire, and you can go ahead and get it there. And like I say, let me just throw this up quickly, but this is I got confused because I'm showing in this video the updated, the updated thing here. So yeah, it was like 9 minutes ago. I uploaded this when I'm recording, so it went up yesterday, which is like 3.5 hours after the original video went up, the new schedules video. So we've now included the feature race files as part of an updated mod folder, so you just overwrite the mod folder. If you have made changes to your mod folder, then that is going to change things, and you might lose those changes, but ultimately, you need the feature races the way I've named them and put them together for the schedule to work. So it is a choice anyway. But not only are they there, like I say, on both videos, I have the pinned comments. So Robert pointed it out. I thought it might be a started issue. It wasn't, and updated feature races. So like I say, we've got the updated description and the updated pin comment, both all set up. So there is that. So I wanted to touch on that first because, like I say, it's pretty important if I'm putting these schedules out that all the stuff is there to make it work. But it is now live. Everything has been uploaded. It's easy to put them where they're supposed to go. One or two files, depending if you're using one or both of the schedules, into the documents folder. And episode 13 shows you where. And then 13A will show you where the updated mod folder goes that you can download as well. So, yeah, that's it right off the top. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I hope that helps people get the game. They need Start It mod. I'm 100% going to keep mentioning that because I know that somebody's going to miss that point and is going to try and play them on a vanilla default schedule, and it's not going to work. And even if it looks like it works, you're not going to have the course files and the 3D files, which are gigabytes of data, which I have a video on where to download them and like how to install all that. That's fine to install the Start It mod in that same tutorial, tips, tricks, cheats playlist. But you do need that to have done that step before these schedules are going to work, even if you get all the right files for these schedules. So, yeah, just want to clear that out the way. If you are here, we're on the road to 1,000. We're like 961, I think, right now. And 1,000's a big marker on YouTube, so please, it would really help if you would subscribe if you're not already. Smash that like button, share the videos, and watch the other playlists on the channel, etc. As I say, that's a huge help. And comments, lots of comments, replying to other people's comments, all that really helps for engagement. All that out the way, as quickly as I could, a lot of information, but all that out the way. Schedules are now live, and you can play the same through the same schedule and same races I'm doing, except a little bit better than the one I'm actually playing, but 99% the same one we're playing in this save is now uploaded, and like 95% the same as my UK jump save that we're playing. That schedule is also uh, a download, so go ahead and check that out. Where we left off in this save, a bunch of 3-year-olds doing like really cool things. Really good, cool things that I kind of like. Now, some are winning more than others. It's very much hit and miss, but I came to the conclusion that it feels to me like the schedule is properly balanced because we're running well with good horses, but we're not just winning. And these are big races. They're supposed to be important. They're supposed to be really difficult. I want the best that the game has to throw at me in these races. So when you win them, it really means something. So, these are Triple Crown races. These are the prestigious races for the 3-year-olds around the world. 9 different grade 1 sets of 3, the Triple Crowns. New Zealand, USA, Canada, France, Australia, South Africa, UK, Ireland, and Japan. And I think I've said those in the right order that we have them appear in the schedule. So yeah, with all that being said, we're good. We're solid. But we're not really winning much. Promise Princess, so unlucky. Like, short-headed out at Chantilly. So, it sucks. It does suck. But that's fine. That's fine. Also, blew up before the Belmont with that pink triangle of Dahum. So yeah, possibly 2 different, which is nuts, but possibly 2 different races there that could have gone very differently for us and could have been, a double Triple Crown winner, or at least win one of those 2 Triple Crowns. So yeah, we've kind of got other people running in different places. I'm a little bit annoyed the fact that Princess didn't make it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. That's racing for you. That's starters orders for you. So I think we're going to run the Belmont Derby Invitational, and then I'm going to decide who gets the third legs at France, which would be the Grand Prix de Paris at a mile 4, the Australian Derby a mile 4, third leg of the Australian Triple Crown, and then the South African Derby. Those 2 are pretty easy names to remember. But yeah, pretty confident that one of those runners is going to be Sweet King Brace. So mile 2, this looks like a mile 2. Breeding says a mile 1. We could be a mile 1. We've run okay at a mile 2. I think we're actually, though, a mile 3. And I've usually been pretty wrong when I've gone off script on the stamina bar. They're fairly rigid in terms of distances. But yeah, the fact that we're running a mile 2 in a pretty decent race, not a huge race, but pretty decent, struggle for pace, and then picking up towards the end in this one, and didn't have the pace for most of the race. Like, there's a lot of feedback from the jockeys saying that the distance isn't quite right. So I'm going to consider us a mile 3 to a mile 4, which means to get down to a mile 1, we're just not going to trail because that sucks. I hate trailing, especially, I was going to say even on closers, especially on closers. And a closer is a horse that runs at the back and towards the end of the race sort of has to pass everybody and gets with a good finish to the front. Because we've got more stamina, we're going to challenge earlier. We're going to burn up more of that stamina. If we were under distance, if we were a mile 1 trying to run a mile 2, then we could challenge earlier, and it gives us, challenge later, which could give us a little more speed at the end of the race, and we just save a little bit. We don't quite go as early as others, but yeah, that's the jockey instruction. Now, I realize they've never been fully explained, like, properly, um, in this way. So yeah, that's all it is. We're the best horse in the field. We're the best form horse this season. There's one race and a third place here. There's a couple of horses which ran last year which did good, but like this year, our form's better than everybody's, really. Ashton's the only other grade one. We're the top rated, everybody's on weight. Like, I don't know, I just feel that this is kind of our race to lose. So let's go to Belmont then and see for the Invitational what Sweet King Braze can do. 1 mile, 2 furlong, Belmont Derby Invitational, Class 1, Grade 1 race for 3-year-olds upon the turf. As I say, it's a solid field, but I do feel we are the best. And with that jockey instruction, again, it should allow us to come down to the distance a touch if we want a little more. It looks like Astragal Bouquet is in the same silks as us. We're the Blue Cap, currently running in 4th, in between Besario Soir and Levantine Giant, behind Waston Strange, the current leader. Back to Ashton today, Croc White, Astragal Bouquet, Sifton Air, Saiga Tobuji, and Dead Prankster is dead last. We're taking over the lead on the turn. We're going to set up now 1.5 furlongs from home on the home stretch, driving now to the line. By the final furlong marker, we're about a length ahead of Besario Soa. Sifton Air is coming up into third. Astragal doesn't look to have much of a push left. And as we fight for the line, they're not closing on us by about a length. Sweet King Braze will take the Invitational here at Belmont Park. And it's a good first race to get us underway. Not dominant, but a good win. A very good win. So, yeah, we did start okay early on. We don't gain any rating, which is fine because we didn't really lose any rating for not racing amazing. But I do like this horse. I do feel really comfortable with it. And yeah, like I say, I think it's a mile 3 in reality. So lining it up for the Grand Prix de Paris or the Australian Derby kind of makes sense to me at a mile 4. I am thinking, though, it's probably the horse with slightly the most distance. And the South African Derby is a mile 4 and 55 yards. And those 55 yards aren't huge, but, like, you know, it's a quarter of a mile, basically, isn't it? It's like 2 furlongs. So, yeah, it might be that we want to put Sweet King Braze after that run into the South African Derby. Then I would say we throw Demolition Damager, who also looks like a mile 1 horse. So we've got a mile 2 looking horse running at a mile 3. And we've got a mile 1 looking horse with an even lower breeding indicator that is showing us that they like a mile 4 and a mile 2 is a little too short for them as well. I think an even more Demolition Damager looks like a mile 3, whereas Sweet King Braze could be a mile 4. Not quite as quick, but a lot of extra speed. But yeah, we could definitely run. We could definitely run them in Australia or France. The third one is a touch more difficult because Tidal Force, I think, is good enough and can run well, and I might do something at a mile 1, mile 2. I think it's right on the cusp of getting to a mile 1. I really do. Up to a mile 4, I don't know, but I just believe in the horse. Um, Swan Dive ran well at a mile 4. I've got a mile 2 here, so like that's a possibility. Much Demure won the first leg in South Africa and not the second leg, so. But again, we could run her in that third leg in South Africa, and then these two, France, Australia. And then, like, the short head here, is it better not knowing if we can run a mile 4? I don't know. I don't know. So I think my choice is going to be these three. And I'm trying to figure out in what. Because if it's Much Demure, I might be interested in giving them the South African derby. But, like, a mile 1 definitely is their distance. I think I need to know. I think I shouldn't, but I need to know. Promise Princess couldn't run at a mile 4. I think I give her France and see if we're within a short head of a Triple Crown in France. And if we are, if we win at a mile 4, if we win the Grand Prix de Paris, then I think, I do think, then that speaks to not only being a short head away from the French Triple Crown, but a good sign that we could have taken the Belmont. And Pyrrhic victories and all that, but like, we know then, without doubts, who this horse is. You know, that's kind of where I sit. And 1 mile 2 is beginning to pick up towards the end, so I think again we're moving into that mile 3 territory. And in which case, yeah, we should go for the mile 4. So for me, I think this is kind of what makes sense, and you may agree, disagree, but I feel it just makes sense. So this would be the Grand Prix de Paris. Not the most competitive of races, but still. So one we need to run. Guess. I guess in that case, Damager runs in Australia. And that means Braze does end up in South Africa with Florent Giroux. And that means we need Ramscoop to find a jockey for Ascot. Okay. So 8-7 Loveberry. Is Loveberry here? No. 7-12 is David Cabrera. And Cabrera is there. So this is why he's third on my list. So our jockey, Florent Giroux, is number 1. Jareth Loveberry is number 2. Because he's exactly the same, but I think his obedience is slightly higher. And then David Cabrera is the last jockey which has full skill and honesty. And then I got Vasquez, Pedrosa, Valdez Jimenez, Hernandez, Lindros, Gutierrez, Cote, Galado, Arroyo Jr., Ortiz Jr., Mara, Diaz, Prat, Fuentes, Camacho, and then Van Dyke. We've got a lot of options. And some of these would have been available. But yeah, I think Cabrera gives us a good chance at Ascot. Because Ramscoop is also running on the 27th. And that's a big race because again we're still looking for the 140 rated. Even though we don't believe it's gonna come, we are looking for it. Swan Dive could probably make a good run. Again, feels like maybe a mile 3 ish. There is one, it's a grade 2. So yeah, I mean the big kind of option here for us would also be to send Swan Dive over for the Australian Oaks. Demolition Damager takes the Australian Derby. They take the Oaks. I feel that lines up really quite well for us. Yeah, I feel that lines up pretty well for us. And then Much Demure, I mean, 1-1 suited perfectly. Like, that's way too soon, sadly. So yeah, 5 days. I'm really probably looking then like 20th, 21st, and unfortunately that's just after a bunch of really nice races. Do I want to go earlier? The only thing that's speaking to me here is the Haskell. Like, it's a 3-year-old only race, and it's really good, and I like it. I could just go here. That's going to be a much tougher race to run. Oh my god. Okay. Couldn't win a maiden. Got on distance, won a maiden. And then a quarter length back in this race. And then since then, conditions, allowance, grade 3, grade 3, grade 2, grade 2, and then 2 grade 1s at a mile 2. So they're coming into their own. Mekong Dinkum. What's the lineage like? Yep, grade 1s on either side with prize money. Yeah, okay. So that's a really good horse. More Sweets Glass, we know, is a really good horse. Beseech Groom is a really good horse coming down from Canada that's starting to win a bunch as well. And Carrie Spangle's a solid horse. Not an amazing horse, but very solid. So that would be kind of tough. Irene Bennett, I think, is good, not great. Same Madney Prize, same Astrogal Bouquet. And I don't remember racing against Akasma Gracia. But that would be a tough race. It is like 6-7 days earlier here, isn't it? So, I like that field a little better, but still, it's not great. Irene Breen, Irene Bennett, Francesca Slayer, the other Francesca, More Sweets Glass, Carrie Spangle. Anyway, I really want to run the Haskell, but I think it's dumb. I think we wait the extra few days and we win. Well, we might not win, but we run the Coaching Club American Oaks. I think that suits. I think that suits. So Lovebury isn't there, but Cabrera is. So we can definitely run you. And then we got, I don't know what I'm looking there, but Florent Giroux is now back on the trip to Paris. And yeah, title for, like, I do feel that we can run really well at a mile. We're a little up and down sometimes. We also run good but not great sometimes at 7 furlong. Um, and I do feel we can get more slightly. Slightly more. Now, we are going to have options here as well, but it's going to be around that same date that we need to wait, and there aren't any races until the Qatar Sussex, which I don't have anyone to run. Mile 4 or more, and a mile 1 to a mile 2. So it's not like we're blocking off, but this is going to be a really difficult one to run with some good horses in it. And I think we need to save you for the Guineas. I feel that's just what we need to do. I feel that's what we need to do. Okay, so uh yeah. Okay, who's coming down to a mile? Who's running the Irish Guineas? Because I didn't think about this. If I'm running Sweet King Brazen and Demolition Damager, on the 27th. That gives me like 11 and 12 days, maybe 13 days before the first legs of the UK and Irish Triple Crowns. Like, that's just completely thrown me there. Ah, it's completely thrown me there. They're too close to run the third legs and go straight into UK and Ireland without being tired. And to go from a mile 4 all the way down to a mile. Uh yeah, this now gets a little tricky. Okay. I really want to run Braze and Damager. In the UK and Irish Triple Crowns. I really do. I really do. That makes this so much more difficult. That makes it so much more difficult. What am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even know if this is the right choice, because again, we could just be not be able to get down to a mile. It could be that we just can't get down to a mile anyway. I'm so torn right now. I didn't think this would be that difficult a decision. I apologize, but like I could pause and go away and think about this and come back and stuff, but it shouldn't be that difficult a decision. I'm trying to think this through, and then I can explain my kind of thinking behind it. But yeah, it's like a plinko machine in my brain with like, or a pinball machine, just like bouncing everywhere, and I'm trying to kind of lean which way feels right, follow a train of thought, and kind of as soon as it stops, another one quickly picks up, and I follow that, and like just see what pathways I really want to make work. So I think where I'm at right now is we've got Demolition Damage and Sweet King Braze in the UK and Irish Triple Crowns, and we're just going to see if they can get down to a mile. Basically, that's it. It might not be possible. It might be another set of races where you're basically running milers or mile one horses that then can possibly either jump or can adapt up to the mile six by the end of the Triple Crowns, rather than something with a bit more distance and come down. So I always find coming down distances a touch more difficult because as you increase distances, I think there's less quality horses out there at those distances. So when you get to a mile four to a mile six, I don't feel competition's very high, and a lot running in the third legs of these Triple Crowns. They might not be good horses in general because they're going to be mile four specialists. If they're not specialists, they're going to like running at a mile one, mile two, and have to try and come up for distance, which gamebreds don't usually do. But if you're also coming up for distance, then it's your quality against theirs. And generally, I back my horses when those are the deciding factors. So I feel like this could be wrong, but this is how I set up. And it does make sense to me. If we're going from a mile four to a mile six, a mile three horse, which I think both Damager and Braze are, do fit that. I'm just very worried about that first leg. If we win either or both of these first legs, then these horses have a great chance to go on and complete the Triple Crown because we come up to their distance, roughly of a mile four, and then we're trying to get up a couple of furlongs to a mile six. And I think at the worst, we're running against other mile four horses trying to get to a mile six rather than a mile six specialist. Just all about the first legs of UK and Ireland. Same in Japan, mile two, mile five, mile seven, mile four. Mile two, mile four, mile seven. So that's a very interesting one too. But I think this is right. I won't run the Oaks and I won't run that. I kind of want to give myself a second shot in the British Triple Crown. Because that is split. The 1,000 guineas is female, the 2,000 is males. Which means I need to decide who to run in that race. So Swan Dive could. I definitely want Promise Princess in Paris. So Much Demure. Or Swan Dive. It's gonna end up being Swan Dive, right? It's gonna end up being Swan Dive. I think for distances, it's gonna end up being Swan Dive. And that has me running Tidal Force in the South African Derby. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to think now. I'm trying to think. Is that what I want to do? I think that's what I want to do. Because Tidal Force is a good horse, but like, I'd rather run a mile 4 than a mile 4 and 55 yards. With a miler, that just makes sense to me. So bring in not Ram Scoop, bring Tidal Force to Australia might suit. And then we're asking Much Demure to take on a little extra distance. That I'm really not sure about, but I need to keep Princess at France. Swan Dive. Yeah, I think that's the wrong choice. I think that's the wrong choice. I think that's better. Okay. Let me figure this out. 10 minutes later, just to get these rights. Promise Princess runs France. Tidal Force runs the Australian Derby with nothing to lose. It, you know, yeah, we've already run in Australia and New Zealand this year. Varying success, that's fine. Ramscoop's got the King George and Queen Elizabeth with a good jockey, because we got a clash on that day. Not going to have Giroud, that's fine. Cabrera can do a good job. And then, after much changing about Swan Dive, has proven a little bit that they can get the distance. Not really, but like better than my mile or my 1 mile furlong can, which are my other options. So it's the best shot at the South African Derby from available options. And then that frees up Much Demure, who is a mile 1, to run a mile in the 1,000 guineas. Sweet King Braze, we're going to pray can come down for the 2,000 guineas. And Demolition Damager should be able to come down a touch, hopefully enough for the Irish 2,000 guineas. I'm bounding off them with very few races left, but hey, maybe, just maybe we can do something. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. Oh my God. Yeah. Like my brain just completely and utterly shut down there as I'm trying to think this through. And like I say, this is our first go around in terms of actually booking horses for all these Triple Crowns and the overlap. Like maybe the gap isn't big enough between the UK and Ireland and the tail end of France, Australia, South Africa. Like maybe that's what it is. That would have been a lot less complicated to book. And especially if you only have one or two good horses, it'd be a lot less complicated to book if we move these races on the 8th and 9th of August, and Japan, which is what, the 24th? Yeah, the 24th is not bad. So we could move UK and Ireland to like the 22nd, 23rd of August. Which sucks because the schedules have now gone out because I didn't see a problem with it, but I haven't really played through it in this scenario, so this didn't stand out to me until now. But I'm always going to find things I'm going to want to change, and which aren't quite right. But I'm also thinking if I moved UK and Ireland back a little bit, maybe even move Japan back a little bit, then that's not too bad, right? But the more we move UK and Ireland back, the more those 1 mile races are going to be tougher to win. Because there's more chance we're going to get distance, which is great for second and third legs, but that first leg doesn't really help. The other option would be to be even more unrealistic with it, and maybe as well as doing that and bumping them back a week or two, could be to up the distances on the Guinea races in UK and Ireland to a mile 2, and have their Triple Crowns run a mile 2, a mile 4, a mile 6. So not the most realistic of scenarios, but for schedule balance, moving them back a week to 10 days and upping those initial distances a furlong or two would make so much sense. But I don't feel like I'm prepared to do that at some level. I don't feel I'm prepared to do that at some level, but let me know. Comment section down below. Like I say, it's good and bad with all options. Oh, I don't want to run this race. Like, I really do, but I also really don't, you know? It's just... Ugh. Yeah. Sweat it up before the Belmont. Could have won a Triple Crown. Short-headed in Chantilly. And that could be a Triple Crown. We do get a chance to get some revenge over Chadleworth Macy. Dynaform is a good horse. They are a good horse who won the second leg in Canada and the first leg in France. On the other side, on the Colts side. But yeah, they're really coming up for distance. I don't feel that they're anything more than a miler. Nebraska likes a mile 2, so they're not going to be on distance. Only won a couple of filly races. Help me run the Robrom. Okay, what are you? You're interesting. You've won a 7 furlongs in a mile. You're definitely above that now. And you've come close in 4 races, 2 in a mile, 2 in a mile 4. So you could be more of a specialist. But you are going for the 1,000 guineas in Ireland. And then you're opening up with the first leg of the Japanese Triple Crown, which is the Satsuki Show. So this is all over the place. Okay, we got to check Oberon, because if Oberon does anything in this race, actually, if Oberon does anything in the 1,000 guineas, depending on the field, which is, yeah, probably not a great field. So that's not going to show us anything. But yeah, okay. I was just wondering, could they be a threat for Ireland? But also, they're not running the second leg yet because it's not available. Oh, I've delayed enough. I've delayed enough. I've delayed enough. If we lose this race, it's a disappointment, but at least I don't feel so bad about that second leg. And maybe we wouldn't have won at Belmont, and then maybe everything just resolves into it wasn't that big a deal. If we do win, then all the what ifs come out. But the Grand Prix de Paris, the third leg of the Triple Crown, here in France at Longchamp. Mile 4, 3-year-olds, Class 1, Grade 1s, upon the Parisian turf. The Poulains winner is here. The Policies winner is here. And the Jockey Club winner is here. They're all 3 different horses. Chalworth Macy took the Jockey Club. Dynaforma Science took the Poulains. And Promise Princess took the Policies. Out of the 3, we are the best, but Dynaforma is right there with us. Right in behind us is Chalworth Macy, now coming on the outside. The 3 stalking are the 3 quality. There's 4 at the back. Donien Diver, Biasca Awkward, Help Me Oronda, Oberon now coming up. Irish Rush, Louis as well. And it looks like we're going to kind of struggle here at the distance, I thought. I was thinking about jockey instructions. I wanted to kind of run it clean. It does look like we're coming back a little bit. Gonna come up into third. It doesn't look like we're dying at the line either. So not a bad run at all. But yeah, mile 4 might not have been our distance, so we don't have to sweat the Belmont anymore. But tush. And that second leg being headed out. I think Promise Princess was always gonna be at most a Derby winner, Preakness winner, Polish winner, and Jockey Club winner. The only one of those 4 we didn't actually get was the Jockey Club short-headed. I can rest easy about Promise Princess. A really good horse. And oh, don't tell me that. Oh, don't tell me. How can you be picking up at the end of the mile 4? How? You look like a mile 1. You feel like a mile 2. How are you picking up at the end of the mile 4? I mean, I saw it with my own 2 eyes, but I just thought it was a weird quirk. But no, that's just distance. Is Promise Princess about to jump to like a mile 6? Because that makes even the 4-year-old season difficult. That's what Ram Scoop's doing, and we're trying to come down to a mile 4. My God. Well, this has been an action-packed video so far, and we're 2 races in. My brain has melted so many times. How is someone with 55 stamina picking up at the end of a mile 4? We must be about to jump to like 75% stamina. I mean, if that's the case with jockey instructions, Is Promise Princess a Japanese runner? Jockey instructions to a mile 2 and pray. If we do well there, jockey instructions to a mile 4. I think we'll do okay. And the third leg's a mile 7. Kind of what she looks like she's pushing up to. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Damn it. Damn it. Just when I think I've got all the answers, I go ahead and change the questions on me. Okay, we got a miler trying to get up to a mile 4, so let's challenge later. That'll probably get us up to we could probably run a mile 1. I think we're borderline a mile 1. Challenge later probably pushes us close to a mile 2. And we're running in a mile 4. So if any of these are a mile 4 specialists, that becomes tricky. If any of these are a mile 3, it's tricky. If they're a mile 5, it's a little tricky. Doesn't look like an amazing field. Doesn't mean it isn't an amazing field. We just don't know it yet. And so we're here for the mile 4 Australian Derby then. I'm not sure where this is. It's back at Ramwick, maybe? I feel like it's back at Ramwick. Class 1, Grade 1, 3 rows on turf, down under. Don't know the field. Don't know their distances. Didn't want to look it up. Kind of just want to run it. We know a few of these names at least. And one of those, Esoterica Globe, goes to the front. Taylor Circle, Frankie Howe, Kirby's Clump, 5 Frano, and Avison Islands at the back. Some Frankie, the other horse I remember, but I don't know where from. And now here comes Kirby's Clump and 5 Frano. There's Kirby's just ahead in the Purple Silks. Avison Islands, the last horse on camera, now disappearing off for a second. Taylor Circle seems to be last and remaining there. Remember, Tidal Force is going to go later than expected. Conserve some of that stamina. We're asking a lot in terms of distance. And we are fighting right now. We're inside now the final half of a furlong. Frankie's Howe is coming through. Howe is going to take this hand in the air from deep 5 Frano, but Tidal Force did really well. We are at Ramwick, Royal Ramwick. I keep forgetting it's Royal Ramwick, like Royal Ascot. Yeah, what's that? 2.5 lengths? For a miler in a mile 4, almost 3 lengths. I feel pretty comfortable with that run. I'm not going to lie, that could have been a lot worse. But yeah, I think it proves at best we're like a mile 1. There's no way that's a mile 4 horse. There's no way that's a mile 3. There's almost no chance that's a mile 2 with jockey instructions adapting to a mile 3. Definitely feel we're a 7 furlong to a mile horse, and the jockey instructions took us to a mile 1, and just the quality of the horse got us close. I think that's just it. Okay. Turfontaine and Ascot. We're going to Ascot first. From Royal Randwick to Royal Ascot, to King George VI and Queen Elizabeth. Big race, big chance. We don't have our jockey, but we have David Cabrera. We know a couple of these horses. We've seen a couple of these horses before, but not anyone I would think to worry about. The Great British Weather does make an appearance here, though. Mile 4, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, Class 1 Grade 1, 3 rows and above on the turf at Royal Ascot. And we get off to a decent start here near side. We do go towards the back, though. Ramscoop likes to run kind of in the pack, and there's a little bit of a closer. Might again still be too short a distance, but in the rain, we might be okay. And we come out from the back to the chasing pack, which kind of suits there. Teutonic, Dune, Anquer, Brian, Maxi Nadiz, Gallagher Given behind us. Straight Femme and Lexington Quantum just up ahead. Singlet Vrij out in the lead. We get caught a little bit, but we are coming, and we are coming at speed. Look at us go. Inside 2 furlongs, driving in the lead by a length at a furlong out. Maxi Nadis is coming. Are they coming quickly enough? Probably not, but it's gonna be really close. At the line, ooh, I think Nadis might have just taken that. Oh, it's so close. That is so close. And we're short-headed out. It's the same what Princess came up against, but in the other way around. We could have won with jockey instructions. I didn't want to do jockey instructions. But I think from here on up, we have to. We have to. We do lose a rating point, and yeah, what a big win. Last year, St. Ledger's winner. This year, King George, Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, Vrij ran well. I'll give them that. Expected more of a Quantum, to be fair. But, yeah. I hate how close that was. I hate being on the wrong side of short heads like that. Oh, very calm fit. Okay. As long as we're not kind of looking lazy, I don't mind. Swan Dive. South African Derby, mile 4, 55 yards. Class 1, grade 1. No jockey instructions. Just gonna run it clean because I want to know exactly where her distance is. Because it looks like a mile 1, but we feel like we can run a mile 3, mile 4 fairly comfortably. So that probably puts us in mile 2 to mile 3 territory with adaptability. That's kind of what's in my mind. So this would be the longest we ever run. It's a mile 4, 55 furlongs. Third leg here in South Africa. Afsare Hartley up front, but here comes Dan Coney Cross and ourselves with Tonish Chew on the outside. Oh my god, you're going guns at the moment. Coming up to the furlong marker, we're now kicking on. Danshini Crossed is kicking on as well a little bit, but now falling back. Tones Cho is not going away. They're not coming up on us. Now we're just driving out for the line. And this is why I didn't want to do jockey's instructions. I feel we've learned more here. Swan Dive has won a really tough distance for someone who could run really well. So down to a mile, didn't have the pace. Mile 2, we win. Mile 4 and a bit, we've won. Mile 4 here, it said we would be better over a shorter trip, which is kind of what this bar would speak to. Like a mile 1, but maybe a mile 2, which suits. But this is over a mile 4. With not very much distance adaptability and no jockey instructions. Not the best field in the world, sure. But I feel I've learned a little bit about that horse. I'm pretty happy with that run. I really, really am. Okay. And that brings us up to the 3 big races to end things off then. The 1,000 and 2,000 guineas at Ascot, Newmarket, and then the 2,000 guineas. Where is that? That's at Cara. Okay. Yeah, the more I think about it, I think Princess for Japan might suit, but we're 0 of 6 on Triple Crowns in this season. These 2 legs are gonna be interesting. So is this horse. Interesting. Let's go quickly. Oh, okay, we didn't get the horse. Never mind. I was gonna say let's go quickly and see, but yeah, okay. The 1,000 guineas, fillies onlys, much demure. Like it's almost bang on your distance. Definitely feel like you're slightly better at a mile 1. I'm gonna say challenge earlier. It might screw us up slightly. I think this is a good field. Couple of grade 1 winners in it, but we're gonna see what we can do. But yeah, if we lose this, it's not the end of the world. We got 1 race later on today in the 2,000 guineas, which would give us a shot at the UK Triple Crown. But if we lost both these today and the one tomorrow, then we've only got 1 shot at a Triple Crown, which would be Japan at the end of the year. But okay, it's 1,000 guineas for fillies only of 3 years of age here at Newmarket. Over a mile, the first leg of the British Triple Crown Class 1 Grade 1 on the turf. And we are off, we are up, we are running, and we are going to the front, much demure. Probably good at about a mile 1. We're staying wide, we're not going to the rail at all. Because I don't know why, because there's no turn, because it's just a very long straight. Interesting. I obviously haven't raced here too much. But we are going to get outpaced quite badly. Blad Maitli, who I think is one of the Grade 1 winners, getting up. Allegrely Brief and Wilhelmina Alpha also up on us. Solid run. Looks like a mile. Solid run. Looks like a mile. Solid run. Looks like a really good mile. So yeah. The Grade 1 winners are 1 and 2. We did fade. But only short-headed out. Only 2.2 back. That's not bad. And we were beginning to pick up. Even with the jockey instructions beginning to pick up. Yeah. So probably close to a mile 2, I would say then on Much Demure. A mile 1, but close to a mile 2. We're looking, well, one of the French horses are boiled over. One of the domestics is sweating badly. And this is our race to lose, and I agree with that, but I think that's not kind of really gone well for us. But we are going to challenge early. We are coming down for distance. It's going to be really difficult to get down for distance. But we're here for it. The 2,000 guineas over a mile for 3-year-old colts. Class 1, Grade 1 race. And the first leg for Eddie Colts in the British Triple Crown. 3-year-olds, very finicky sometimes. We just saw the fillies run. We're back here at Newmarket on the turf for the Colts. Not an amazing start from us, but again, we're going to go, and oh my God, we just got pushed really wide. Not that it matters at all. We're kind of running as a stalker a little bit. We got Angle Ager up front. Coming from deep, we've got a couple of horses now. Inside 1.5 then. Final furlong. Does Sweet King Braze have a push? It doesn't really feel like it. We got 3 on the inside. We got 1 on the outside of us. And yeah, we're a lot closer than it seems to get 5th place. But it's Carger and Corvey who'll take it from Franto, mate. French horse, dangerous. Then short head out, and then headed out. We definitely wanted more distance, right? That's it. Coming down to a mile was always going to be difficult. And we've got the same problem here with Demolition Damager. First leg of the Irish Triple Crown. I think that's just... yeah, run jockey instructions and see. If this isn't a great field, we've got a shot. If not, then our Irish Triple Crown dies. New Zealand, USA, Canada, Australia, France, South Africa, UK, all the Triple Crowns have failed. Ireland's up next. The Tassels, Irish 2,000 guineas, over a mile for Class 1, Grade 1, 3-year-olds on the turf at Curragh. It's not a terrible start. And Damager is going to come towards the back, which I don't love. A horse with pace, and I mean, at least we're going to challenge early, which means we can come up and maybe do something a little early. We're already starting to make our way through and maybe use some of this stamina. But the pace coming from the back here on the outside is quite scary. Wealthy Breeze coming up now into second, and still a lot of running to go. We should have the stamina to keep on, but do we have the pace to hold off the challenge? Now it looks like Kirby's Ensign and Omid Display coming through into second and third, but they're not going to get here. And Demolition Damagers come down to a mile and gotten the Irish 2,000 guineas. And our dreams are not dead. 0-7 in Triple Crowns this year. 1 is alive right now. We're a third of the way to winning an Irish Triple Crown with Demolition Damager. Maybe not a great field, but I feel this is a good horse. Has won over a couple of very decent horses. And won by distance. Being far off distance. Okay. Okay. So one thing we know is that 100% running that. I think Braze, it just makes sense to run at Epsom anyway. And we'll figure out the rest later on. But yeah, I just feel those two make sense to finish off these. And then, like I say, maybe just Promise Princess at Japan. 24th? So yeah, a really interesting one. Some surprisingly good results, some surprisingly bad results, some just where we thought they'd be. But yeah, we are currently 0 of 7 in Triple Crowns. But Damager could do something. And not only could Damager do something, but if we do pick up the Irish Triple Crown, then we've just jumped 4 points and got up to a 131. There's a chance we jump up another 2 or 3 points from the Derby, and then the St. Ledger, if we get there, might be another 3 points there, for example. We could be ending this season at 136, 137 with a Triple Crown under Damager's belt, which is exactly where Plateau Brex was at the end of her 3-year-old season. Very different horses. Damager has everything Brex doesn't. Brex had the one thing Damager doesn't, which is very high potential. But we do have a shot, and that also sets Damager up then for their 4-year-old season to maybe hit 140. Maybe. It's really interesting. Swan Dives at a 129 as well. That could be another horse that has a good shot at a 140 next season too. But yeah, let me know what you think about that as well. I'm probably looking too far ahead. But the Irish Triple Crown is still on. And then Princess in Japan. It's going to be so interesting. It's going to be so interesting. But yeah, comments down below. Let me know. Like and subscribe, as always. Massive help to the channel. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for that. Check out the other playlists we got. As I say, the schedules have gone up, as well as the feature race files. So feel free to download those and play through these same 9 Triple Crowns as I am in this save on this schedule, as well as the UK Jump schedule. And yeah, check out the other playlists. Check out the memberships. Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you next time. Till then, take care, stay safe, and all the very best to you. It's been a rough season, but the dream's not dead. 140 dream? Probably. Like, it's such an uphill battle. But we've got a chance at a Triple Crown. Maybe 2. So come back, see how that plays out. I'll see you then. Till next time.